Kyle. The topic that I spoke about at the BMW conference was gaining clarity for business excellence. That's what they had me conduct with their attendees yesterday. I did compile that presentation into a digital product. So for those of you who would like to grab it, I'll put the link in the chat. So stay connected with me. Thank you, Anthony.
Magnificent. And I'm going to pin the Facebook link at the top, guys. Okay, so we're going to get right into it and we're going to be rolling fast, okay, because we got a lot of stuff to cover, okay? I'm going to pin the Facebook group at the top so you guys can see me live in color and in color. So if you guys want to get on here and say what's up, drop some love in the chat. We are streaming live from Twitter, okay? We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, not Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Christian Mingles only. Okay. And we're currently on Facebook. So I'm super excited to bring this information to you. We're going to be going really, really fast. For those of you who are just now joining us, we're talking about money today. 5 must-have generational wealth tools, and then we're going to start backwards this time. We're going to start with the trust. Bandman, I see you. You're on here. Thank you for joining us on Twitter. I'm going to invite you to speak. Okay, and for those of you that want to get more information about what we're doing, we have an event coming up October 14th called 10X Vets that you guys can pull up and actually meet us. If you're a real estate professional or mortgage professional and you're looking to network with us, you guys can pull up to that. So I'm gonna post the Facebook group at the top so you guys can get in there first. And about halfway through, as we go through this thing, then you guys will be able to reach out to us and get interconnected with us for questions that you may have. Without further ado, let me introduce my man, Ian Jensen. You want to let the people know who you are and what you do?
Hey everybody, thanks for coming in. Hey, this is Ian Jensen. I'm a full-time real estate agent down here in Southern California. Work here at the Glen Group as real estate, and then we do our own investing here on the side. That's what I do on my free time, right? Make your hobby your profession, right? So so I did my toe in the multi-unit space, picked up like 9 doors in the past about 4 years or so. And volunteer my time at the Veteran Homeowners Club, which we assist veterans and active duty service members in their transition from either location to location or from or from active duty to civilian life. So thank you everybody for coming in here. We really appreciate you guys taking the first step to help yourself. And then let's keep in touch with us so that we can do everything we can to help you out. Back to you, Tony.
Outstanding. Now, guys, I got a special announcement. I got a VIP person in the room today. Okay, can y'all do me a favor, man, and put a fire emoji in the chat? I have Bruno Nascimento, and this is a very special day. So I want you guys, if you guys support veterans, I'm going to ask you guys a hard question. If you support veterans, I have a special announcement today. Today is the last day that Bruno will be in the U.S. Marine Corps after 20 years of faithful service.
Oh my gosh.
So, my brother, we want to honor you. Congratulations to serving in the world's finest fighting force, the
Thank
U.S.
you,
Marines.
Bruno.
We really appreciate all of the things that you have done, and I'm glad that you're getting out because now we got work to do, brother. And I want to highlight him before we get started, guys, because this is my friend. For those of you who don't know, I served with Bruno at MCRD San Diego, and I want to talk about that real quick. That is the best and the hardest duty station that I've ever been to, because that's where we train the world's finest fighting force, the U.S. Marines. So that's where we make America's nightmare, MCRD San Diego. The world's nightmare in the event that people try to tarnish what we support and defend. So I had a privilege of working with him there. And then him and Ian both are G14 classified type dudes, that were able to get, protect America's secrets. Okay, so I'm not going to get into that, but Bruno, congratulations to your 20 years of illustrious service to our core. Okay, the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, and let the people know how you feel, man. What's up?
Hey guys, good morning, man. Hey, I feel good, man. I definitely appreciate the shout out, man, and I appreciate all the support, all the love from everyone. Man, getting some calls and it feels good, man. It feels good to be able to transition. It feels even better to be able to do so alongside people that share the same vision, the same goal, and everything else, because it really just makes the transition process more seamless, right? It's difficult. You figure, man, this is something, this is all you know, right? So if you figure you come in and staying at 18 years old, it's what you've spent, um, majority of your life. You figure you spent more time as a Marine than I've spent, not a Marine, and transitioning to the real world now. It, it's bittersweet, man. It's bittersweet. I haven't put on a uniform for months and months and months, but still, just knowing that you're still within the active duty component, and then now, the realization that it's really coming to an end, and I get to join the ranks of individuals like yourself, Tony, and a couple of other retired veterans, retired Marines. So I definitely appreciate the support, guys. It is bittersweet, but you know what, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited for um, to be able to help other people follow the footsteps and help other people kind of elevate themselves and transition from military to civilian life, and do so in a manner to where um, it's less stressful, less stressful, and facilitate for them to be able to do it in a manner where they're financially sound and can think clearly and not stress out about money, and that's a lot of the reason on why it is that we do what we do. And talking about this, talking about generational wealth, and especially, man, if, for those people that are tapping in, man, if you're currently active duty, if you're in service, man, please take heed to the things that are being taught and explained. Like, this is game and knowledge, that's being spit to you for free from people that have experience in this stuff, man. And the military, while it's great, they
Are you about to
they're
cry,
not
Bruno?
every great. Huh? No, not
Are
you're
you
right.
about to cry? I hear some
Shut
crying, bro.
up.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to let you guys know that I really love y'all, and I went to
Shut
Costco today, and
up. No, man,
put
that's
a
just
heart
something to
emoji in the
highlight.
chat for Bruno, man, to keep him from crying right now, man. Bruno,
No,
man,
no, no, no. It's
cry
not
me
like
a
that.
river.
You're so stupid. No, man, but I really just want to say that, like, with the military, man, like, we're great at a lot of things, but we are not very good at taking this information, man. You know what I mean? Like, we are so operation driven that a lot of times we forget about the other things, the support system, the things that really uh play the most amount of stressors, man, on daily life and stuff like that. So no, man, but I'm just super excited, man. I'm excited. I'm glad that this thing is finally a chapter that I'm closing. And I'm glad that I was able to close it on my own terms. I think above all, above everything, I was able to close this on my own terms, and doing so happily, man. You know what I mean? Like, doing this thing, and you know what's crazy, bro? I'm gonna send you a picture. I was like thinking that I was really, really gonna miss it, and then I went yesterday to the base, and I went to SIF to go return a jacket, and I was like, dog, this shit is whack, bro. I'm
It-
excited, man, and I'll see you guys later on, bro.
and I appreciate that, man. And guys, listen, man, Bruno, congratulations, Bruno. Make sure you give Bruno a follow. He's been rocking and rolling with us. We've been through a lot, guys. And guess what, man? We ain't going nowhere, haters. We ain't going nowhere, haters. You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, it's been very, very difficult to get to where we are. But guess what? We are gonna kick some information in here that all of you guys are gonna use, right? And Bruno and I are gonna be popping some champagne later on here today. Okay, so make sure you guys click the link above my head. Is the Facebook group up, y'all? Can y'all see the Facebook group? Can y'all fact check and see if the Facebook group is up there, please? The Facebook group is up there live and in color. And I got my man Stack Pack, Prince. Man, Prince, get your butt on stage, bro. Cause this what we're gonna be talking about today, Prince. I'm telling you, you're gonna want me to bring this to your house. Okay. So Prince, come on up, man. Park your avatar so we can bring all of your crew here, so they know that I'm about to burn this thing down with talking about generational wealth. Okay. Now, the very first thing that we're going to talk about, we're going to go in reverse order, and we're going to be talking about the trust first because we had a lot of trust questions. And I see Hannah, Dr. Clarissa. Dr. Clarissa, how are you today? Let the people know who you are and what you do real quick. And then I'm going to go to Hannah for a quick introduction. And then after that, I'm going to start. Okay. Dr. Clarissa, you want to tell the people who you are and what you do? Clarissa.
I never corrected you.
Cla.
You've been saying my name wrong for a long
No,
time.
I
I never
haven't.
corrected.
I'm
Yeah,
from the
okay.
South with an F.
I I understand that. Back in the backwoods South, in some of the words, I get it. So I'm a college writing educator and administrator, and I just want to diversify my income stream. So I'm learning to be an outstanding real estate investor, and here from Sierra, Bruno, and Ian are teaching me about real estate investing.
Why you always be skipping over me? You think you slick? You know that she never names my name, right? I be showing love on stage. She don't be showing me love. What's up with that?
I named the team.
Oh my
And
God.
can I introduce Stat Pack?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bring Stack Pack in. You got it.
Okay. So, ladies and you don't have any music?
I don't know how.
I
Wait,
feel
wait, wait,
like you
wait. Hold
need
on, hold on.
music.
Let me see. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull something up.
It's too late. You
Now, see,
missed
I
it. The
can't be.
moment is gone. The moment is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, Stat Pack.
Did y'all hear that music? Did y'all hear that? Did my music play, y'all?
There was no music.
Oh my God. See, I don't know how to use this system. Hey, Anthony, I need to know how to play the music. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, Stizak Pizak from the Boston, Massachusetts. Stack Pack, man. Stack Pack. Let the people know who you are and what you do. Man, what happened to Stack Pack? See?
He's not there. I just wanted to introduce him because I announced earlier that I'm president of his fan club. But yeah, I'm just glad to be here and to support the room. Thank you.
Outstanding, man. See, I don't even know how to use this soundboard, man. I do know how to push these buttons, though. Let me see what this one is right here. Oh, that's the gun. What's this one? Oh, I don't like that one right there. Nope. Okay. All right. So I know my soundboard. I do got a soundboard in here, man. But I'm kind of I don't need no sound. But let's get to it. Hannah, I got you next. We're gonna come. Sonny, Diane, William, Apostle, Stack Pack, Ishman, everybody that's here. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about is trust. Okay. Irrevocable and revocable trust. That's step one. I want everybody to put that in the chat. We're gonna go through these things. We're gonna break down the terminology of everything, and then we're gonna go really, really fast. So I hope you guys are able to pick up what we're doing. Right now, I need everybody to put revocable, irrevocable trust. Now I'm gonna ask the stage right now, what is the fundamental difference between the revocable and irrevocable trust?
How easily you can change the terms.
That is correct. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So revocable trust. That's something that you can, like the name says, you can revoke, right? You can pull it back and you can change it if ever, if all of a sudden Uncle Tony starts acting wild and you want to pull him out of the trust, you can, right? So what you do is like you keep it in, you keep your trust into a like revocable state up until you start kind of getting to your, your later years, or when you really kind of have things under control, so that way it can't be changed, right? And that's when you would switch it over to an irrevocable trust. So once you have everything figured out, that's when you transition to an irrevocable trust. That way it stays in place. Up until then, if you're lucky enough to have a life and you die of old age, right, then you have the opportunity to change things along the way if you absolutely need to, in case something happens.
Okay,
Back to you, John.
and okay, revocable, irrevocable trust. Prince, you ain't got to speak, man. Just come on stage, because what that does for us is it helps us grow the space. And for those of you, let me reset the room, guys. We're talking about the 5 must-haves to generational wealth. We're going to tell you everything that you guys need to know about how to build wealth and all of the 5 pillars that you're going to need. We're going to give you an examples of everything, and then we're also going to back into giving you examples of how everything goes. We're going to show you an example of how the money flows through and how we have everything structured. So if you guys want to know about that, what I'm going to ask every single person person in here right now to do is that at the top of the screen, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little clipboard. I'm going to ask everybody in the listening lounge to get on stage right now by raising your hand, because I'm going to break down the types of trust that they are, the positions in a trust, and we're going to go through that. And then we're going to reverse engineer everything else and show you guys how the money flows, okay? All right, so do me a favor, hit the clipboard at the bottom and come on stage. Jess, Trinita, Valerie, Mark, Steven, Tanya, David, Adrian, Robin, Christian, Tanya. I'm going to explain everything for you for free, guys. Okay, I'm not charging you anything, but I'm going to give you this information. But I'm going to ask for all of you guys to get on stage, because that's going to help us get to the 300 people that we're setting a goal of 300 people coming into this space. And the only way that we can do that is by you guys coming on stage. And then also for those of you who are on stage, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is hit the recycle button and share this to your hallway. Okay, you'll see down at the bottom, you'll see how you can share this to your actual hallway by putting, I want you guys to put WIN. That stands for win, baby. Let's go. All right, so now everybody that's on stage, I want to break down. This is the best way that I had to learn it. Thank you, Prince, for coming on stage. Somebody make Prince a moderator, please. That's my brother. Thank you for pulling up, Prince. I want y'all to say OR. OR gives and EE receives. I'll always start with this. You're going to always hear me say this, because when you hear the terminology, you're not going to understand it unless you understand the positions in the trust. Okay, so OR gives, EE receives. OR gives, EE receives. OR does what?
Gives.
EE does what?
Receives.
Okay, so, all right. Here's a pop quiz. Trustee. Give or receive?
Receive.
Protector.
Gives.
Trustee.
Receives.
Committee.
Receives.
Advisor.
Gives.
Okay. Protector.
Gives.
Beneficiary.
Receives.
Trustee.
Receives.
There you go. Settlor.
Gives.
So outstanding, guys. Y'all got that. Y'all passed the test. Y'all got 100%. All right. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this and give a breakdown to this. Okay. Let's see here. Bruno, Ian, can y'all do me a favor? Can y'all go into the Facebook group and put at everyone so people can see that we're here, okay, in the post on the live right there. So if people have questions, that we'll be able to answer those questions. So let's go through these positions. Okay, settlor, okay, that person gives. That person is the person who creates and transfers the assets. Trust or settlor gives and transfers the asset. That's the first position. Okay, so Ian, are you here? Can you rock and roll with me? Hannah, I need your help as well, okay? I'm going to go through these and then I'm going to give Hannah a quick introduction so you guys know who she is, okay? And if you guys have questions over this stuff, you guys have an opportunity to ask as many questions as you possibly can. And thank you guys for the 14 shares. I really appreciate that. Let's continue to rock and roll, because I want to go through this fast so we can get to the meat and potatoes of what we're here to teach, okay? Okay, so the trustor or the grantor, that's the same person, trustor or grantor. Okay, so put that in the chat. That person creates the trust, okay, and transfers the assets. So if you're starting the trust, you are the who? Hello?
Grantor.
You are the
Or
grantor. That is correct. You are the grantor or the who? Settler. Okay. So grantor, settler creates the trust and transfer the assets. That's called the grantor. So the grantor issues these positions within the trust. The trustee what does that person do? Give or receive?
Receive.
There you go. That person receives. So you got the settler that gives, the trustor receives, the trustee receives power in the trust and manages and administers the trust to the beneficiaries. So can a trustee here's a pop quiz. Can a trustee be a beneficiary?
Yes.
Yes, they can. That is correct. Okay. So the trustee manages and administers the trust and the beneficiaries. So I'm a settlor or a grantor. Here's an example. I'm going to create the trust. I'm going to call, let's see, I'm going to call Bruno. Bruno's going to be my person. Ring, ring. I'm going to call Bruno. Bruno's a trust attorney.
Not something for trust and wills. I can help you.
Hello, I want to. My name is Day Day, and I'd like to start a trust. And I got a car with some rims on it, and I got a bunch of jewelry that I want to put in this trust. Can you be able to help me out?
I absolutely can. Let's go ahead and put you on the schedule and get you in here so we can look at your estate and figure out how to plan it.
Okay, bingo. Okay, so now the reason why I said cars is because when you die, do you still have that car?
No.
Yes, you do.
Family does.
When you die, do you still have jewelry?
Well, I mean, not in heaven.
Yes, but when you die, do you still have these things? You still own these things, right? So you need to have a person that's going to administer, so you don't have people fighting over, that box Chevy that you got in the garage. Okay. So when you guys are starting these things and we're breaking this stuff down, I really want you to take close attention and take copious notes on this stuff that I'm talking about, because I'm going to break this all the way down for you. So now I'm going to select a trustee. So Ian is going to be my trustee. What does Ian do? Pop quiz. I just told you. He does what?
Receives.
He receives, and he does what? He manages and administers.
He is administering benefits to the beneficiaries, and he can also be a beneficiary.
That is correct. Now we're going to go down to the beneficiary. Does the beneficiary give or receive?
Receive.
Bingo. The beneficiary receives the benefits of the trust. So that's the hardest part to remember. Settlor, grantor creates the trust. Trustee manages the assets within the trust and makes sure that who gets the assets in the trust. Beneficiaries, because they benefit from the assets that you got. Now we have the next portion that we're going to talk about. So we got settlor, trustor, beneficiary. Now we're going to go over successor trustee. Okay. So make sure you guys are putting these positions in the chat, because I don't see them in the chat, guys. I want people to put this in the chat for me. That way I know that you guys got it. Okay. So Ian and Hannah, I want you guys to put these positions in the chat right now so people can go back and reference this for notes. Let me reset the room. Okay. Let me talk about the next positions that we're going to go over. We're going to go over successor trustee, co-trustee, and protector. Okay. Then we're going to talk about investment advisor, distribution committee, guardian, administrator of the trustee, and trust protector. But the main parts that you guys, when you start having these trusts, settlor, grantor, trustee, and beneficiary, those are the main three portions, okay, of the trust, okay? So let me go back through them. Settlor gives. Trustee manages the stuff, okay? That's like a manager of your trust. Beneficiary receives. So when you establish your trust, those are really the only three positions that you guys are going to need. Okay, let me do a quick room reset. You guys are in the Winning Real Estate House, and today we're talking about money, 5 must-have generational wealth tools. And I want to give a special shout out to Ashley, Hannah, Dr. Clarissa, Bruno, Sonny, Diane, William, Apostle, Stack Pack, Ishman, Prince that's in the building, Briche, Adrian, Eddie, Michelle, Robin, Mark, and all of the people, my brother Ice that's on stage. Man, Ice done snuck in here. And my sister Catherine that's on stage as well. Really appreciate you guys coming up to the stage. And then for those of you who are in the listening lounge, okay, the hand raising is turned on. So I want you guys to come up and ask as many questions as you can. We are streaming live and in color from Facebook, so you guys could actually see me kicking it like a sensei, okay? And we're rolling through these things like a honey bun, and we're giving this information to you guys for free. Now, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is there's a little clipboard down at the bottom of your screen. As many people that we have on stage is going to help us grow the space. So if you guys are understanding what I am talking about and you like my teaching style, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is I want you to put a 1 in the chat. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you guys are understanding what I'm talking about, because I want to make sure that everybody understands what we are talking about. Okay, all right. Does anybody have a question about settlor, grantor, trustee, or beneficiary? The 3 fundamental pieces in the trust. Any questions?
I got a question.
I have an answer, Mark.
Does an attorney give or receive?
That is a outstanding question. The attorney gives the power, okay? Oh, attorney. Actually, the attorney receives and gives, okay? So the attorney, okay,
The
receives,
lawyer.
yeah, the lawyer. The attorney receives the information. The lawyer receives the information. That's a great question. The attorney administers the power to give power of the settler and grantor. So he creates the trust, right? He's kind of like a neutral third party, but he's able to, you are the one with a notary that gives the power to the person. So the settler or the attorney gives and receives, okay? So he receives power from you, okay, in order to give the power to your trust or the trustee and the beneficiary, okay? So that's a good question, okay? So the attorney is the one who helps you establish the trust, but then he also has the power to give power to other people on your behalf through a notary. Did I answer your question?
Yes, and then if somebody assigns some like power of attorney, that doesn't mean they're attorney. They just have the power to make the decisions, right?
That's a great question. Okay. So the question was the power of an attorney. Okay. So a power of attorney is just transferring your ability to do one thing to another person. Okay. That person that administers that power is not, he's just validating that you are able to give that power to another person. Okay. So the problem with a power of attorney though, is that what happens when I die? What happens to that power of attorney?
They take charge or make the decisions.
This is the problem of the will, okay? The will administers or gives you access, the power to do things. But the problem with the power of attorney is that it dies with you. So that means that if I have a will, okay, which gives me the power, if I say, Ian Jensen, you have the power, I'm granting you the power of this, the power of attorney to you. But guess what? That power of attorney dies when the person dies. Did y'all know that?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yep, that is
I
correct.
didn't know that.
That is correct. Okay. The power of attorney's power dies when you die. Okay. So that means that you cannot make changes. So guess what? That power of attorney can be contested as well. Did y'all know that?
And you have to have an executor of the estate.
That is correct. And guess what? That power of attorney can be contested in probate as well. This is why this is why we're talking about the power of the trust, because the power of the trust, it succeeds you. Okay. And that goes in to successor trustee. This is like something this person steps in the initial trustee cannot continue. So let's just say that Ian Jensen, and this is something that you guys are establishing your will that you should have, successor trustee. Okay. Who's the trustee? Pop quiz.
Receiver.
The trustee does what? Manages and administrates the.
Managers, you ask and then you won't let us answer. Administers the benefits to the beneficiaries and can be a beneficiary.
That is correct, sister. Okay. I told you I'd be rolling like a honey bun, you know what I'm saying? My bad. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Rolling like a Cinnabon.
Wait time. Some of y'all got to be quicker to respond if you want to answer the question, because that dead time is too much for listening experience.
Tell them. Tell them. Shots fired. You better be quick on that mic, shawty. You gotta be quick. Okay. So let's talk about this portion right here. A successor trustee. Successor. Here's a little bit of trivia right now. Successor. What does that sound like to you guys? Successor.
Sounds like they're successful.
The giver.
Successor, right? This is the person.
Come next.
Successors are somebody who receives the benefits after the person.
Bingo. Okay. Successor is the person that steps in the event that the trustee cannot continue. So let's just say that I have as you guys are establishing your trust, make sure you have you have a couple of layers, because let's just say that my trustee, right, was Ian. Okay. and then Ian goes to Las Vegas, and then he turns up, and then he passes away. Okay. Now, the successor trustee is going to be the person that steps in the event that he's incapacitated, right? So as you guys are structuring this thing, always have a secondary option in regard to your trust as you set this up. So remember, settlor or grantor, trustee and beneficiary, and successor trustee are 4 positions that you should have within your trust, okay? Now, here's another thing. Co-trustee. What does that sound like?
Like a cosigner, kind of.
A person that shares the responsibilities with others. That's all it is, okay? Now, protector. Who's that? What does that sound like? Protector.
They protect.
Exactly.
Giver of protection.
Okay. So a protector is a person that you can admit, and you don't have to have these positions. You really only need the settlor, grantor, trustor, trustee, beneficiaries, and a successor. You don't need a co-trustee. You don't need a protector. But I want to tell you guys these positions so you know all of them. Okay. A protector is a person that it could be a neutral third party that oversees the trust actions for the beneficiary of interest. Who is the beneficiary?
The receiver.
The receiver of the asset. So let me explain how the protector of the asset works. Okay. In the event that I'm going to hire, I'm going to say, I trust Dr. Ashley. So Dr. Ashley is going to be within the trust, and then she's going to keep an eye on the trustee and the successor trustee to make sure that everything is good to go. Now, you don't have to have that position, because if you put things in writing, you don't have to have a protector trustee, and your protector can be a trustee as well. That person basically oversees the trustee actions for the beneficiaries of interest. Here's an example. Okay. Let's just say that my beneficiary is an LLC. Ooh. Now I'm going to open up the mic real quick. I want to hear some other people talking right now. Okay. Let's just say my LLC is the beneficiary of my trust. Now, could they be the protector to make sure that my kids have stake in my company? Yes or no?
Yes.
Depends what kind of stake.
There you go. So you don't have to have a person as the beneficiary. You can have a company as the beneficiary. Okay. So if I say that, okay, I have a real estate brokerage, right? Okay, I can say that I'm going to be the seller. I'm going to grant Ian Jensen and Sierra and Bruno as my trustees, right? And then I'm going to put my LLC as a beneficiary of the trust. So that means that money comes in to the company, money goes through the LLC. I have Hannah as a protector of the trust. She does what? What does the protector of the trust do?
Gives. Protects.
It protects. Exactly what the word does. They're going to oversee the money going through the LLC. They just sit in meetings, look at everything going through. And then if it says, okay, my kids are supposed to get $1,000 as beneficiaries of the trust, and the rest of the money goes through the company, they can audit the LLC's books because they're the protector of the trust. Do you understand why these positions are important?
Layers of protection.
There you go. Okay. Now, an investment advisor, that's pretty much the same thing. You can have somebody in there. Okay. Distribution committee is exactly what it sounds like. They decide how assets are given to the beneficiaries, if you want to have that. A guardian protects minors' interest in the trust for them. So you can have a guardian within your trust. Administrative trustee is exactly what it is. That's a bookkeeper. A bookkeeper or accounting and keep the trust in compliance if you get to that level. Okay. And then a trust protector makes specific trust changes under defined conditions. And a special needs trustee is if you have a person that's unique in nature in the event that there's a special needs child or something like that in regard to a trust. All of the other positions are pretty easy. Okay. Let me run back through these real quick because I have them written down. Settler does what? Pop quiz. Give.
Give.
And what else do they do?
They control the trust.
They control the trust. Bingo. Next is the trustee. What does the trustee do?
Receives.
Receives. They manage and administrate the trust for the beneficiary. Who is the beneficiary? The person that does what?
Receives.
Receives what?
Assets or money.
The assets or money or whatever from the trust. Successor trustee is who's that? Who's that person?
They receive.
That is correct. And then you have the co-trustee, the protector oversees, investment advisor. Everything else is pretty much administrative, okay? That is the positions within a trust. Does anybody have any questions regarding the positions in a trust? Because the reason why we're breaking this down is because if you don't know the terminology and you set this up, you could possibly make some mistakes, okay?
I have a question.
I have an answer.
So I've heard you say before that if for example, when the LLC is the beneficiary, that's who you could get your tenants to pay rent to. And I know you don't offer any advice, but I'm just asking for the sake of this conversation, right? So when I can't believe it, I think I might have forgotten my question. um, You know what I have? I think I've forgotten my question. When I remember my question, I'll ask you. I've actually forgotten my question.
Ye-
File taxes.
Okay.
Huh?
So,
Yeah, when I remember, I'll ask.
no, okay. So basically, I know your question is leading to how you set up your trust, right? Was that your question?
I remembered it. I remembered it. Okay.
Okay.
So that's real estate. So, but I've often heard you mention jewelry and cars. So if my tenant in Rhode Island slipped on some ice on my stairs, and wanted to sue, I would have the car and the jewelry in a separate trust
No,
from that. Oh, no, no.
no. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me give you the level of protections when you have stuff in a trust. Okay. Now, do you have you excuse me? You have your company, right? So this is how I have mine set up. Okay. So for one, I have insurance, right, for the renters. From the insurance, I have a general policy, a umbrella policy to protect. Then the tenants have to have a renter's insurance as well to protect my assets. Okay, so I have two layers of protection for that. Now my real estate is owned by a trust with multiple beneficiaries. Okay, hint, hint, multiple beneficiaries. Majority of my properties are in an irrevocable trust. Now, here's the difference. Revocable trust, I can move in and out. Irrevocable trust, I have to have the beneficiary's signature in order to move things around, or I have to be able to, it's very difficult to change once I transfer those assets, okay? Now, since my property is owned by that trust, the limited liability company, the tenant pays the company. Now, when the tenant pays my LLC, the LLC then pays me and the beneficiaries, and all of this is in a trust. So when people go after me, it creates a hamster wheel, because when they look up the trust, you know, it has a corporate veil, because the company that is operating, that they've been paying, they can do a charging order to find me, but I have so many layers of protection, it's going to be hard for them to go after that. Now, my LLC doesn't own the cars, only the business vehicles, right? Like my Tesla is owned by one of my companies, right? But that LLC, the LLC owns the LLC operates the business, but the trust owns the beneficiary. The beneficiary of the trust is the LLC. So that means that the beneficiary, the LLC, is within the trust. Does that make sense? So the trust is the first layer. The LLC is the second layer. The third layer are the properties, and everything's in a trust. So it's going to be very difficult because I don't own it.
Got it.
I don't own the property, and I don't own the cars. I don't own the jewelry. I don't own the precious metals. I don't own the watches. All of it that's serialized is owned by the trust. So if I don't own it, they cannot sue me. They can try to come after me, but I don't own anything. They can come
Can
after
they
my,
trust?
they can, it's very difficult to sue a trust.
Okay, gotcha.
Very, very difficult to penetrate a trust. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that it cannot be done, but it's very, very difficult. And also the company, the limited liability company, okay, is operating the business. So that tenant is going to have to hire somebody to try to track down my money. And then they've been like, I haven't been paying Anthony Glenn. If it's going into my account directly, then yes. But my tenants pay the limited liability company. So that company, they can only do a charging order to garnish my wages out of the company, right? So this is the reason why you want to have this. Now, when I go 10 toes under and I'm the best dressed, y'all know what that means, right? Going to the upper room, right? Then that means essentially that they can go after that, you know, my assets are still in the trust. The trust is living. I'm dead. That's the reason why you guys don't listen to me. If you own properties, this is the reason why you do not need to have your property in your name. Get it out of your name. If it's in your name today and you go 10 toes up, the question I propose to you, who's going to get that asset? Who's going to get it?
Even personal property,
Even what?
even our like homestead.
Yeah. You own a property right now?
Yeah, I better put that shit in the trust, huh?
If you die right now, who's going to get it?
Hell, I hope my wife does.
What? How can your wife?
Probate gonna get it first.
Well,
How?
she's on the thing too.
Yes, but
She's
she's on it. But watch this. This is here's an example, and I'm gonna run you guys through this so you guys understand what I'm talking about. Put a 1 in the chat if this is good information, man, because we're gonna breeze through this trust stuff. But I think people need to hear this. I think people need to really, really understand how important it is to hear this stuff. Okay, and guys, if you want me to break down a scenario for you guys, I need 10 people in the listening lounge to raise their hand. I need 10 people right now because I'm going to break this down and flow the money. And I got Hannah for a quick introduction, and we're going to continue to open it up for questioning because I think this trust question is the most important part to your generational wealth. Okay? Now, how many kids do you have, my friend?
2.
What state are you in?
One's moved out, but I got one living with us, Texas.
Okay, so you live in the state of Texas, okay? All right, so I'm going to ask anyone right now to Google what happens to property that is not in a trust in Texas. Just no, not even a. What happens to a property that's no? This is a better one. If a property is willed to a person, what happens? I just want somebody to Google that. Who's going to volunteer to Google that for me? Can somebody volunteer for me? Can I get a volunteer, please?
What do you want Googled?
What happens to a property will a property go through probate if it's not in a will in Texas?
Oh my God.
Listen.
Okay.
Well, I'll type it in the chat. Okay.
Okay. What happens to a property?
A property go to probate with a will? I'll put that in the chat.
If it's got a will, it won't go through probate, right?
That's not true.
If
It
you
can.
have a valid will.
Okay.
If you have a valid,
What does it say?
Have a valid will.
Go ahead.
If you have a valid will, it has to go through some version of probate. But there are ways to bypass the full Texas probate process, like the monument of title. If your estate meets certain criteria, it may be eligible for that process. And in this case, assets transfer directly to beneficiaries. But the first line says, if you have a valid will, it has to go through some version of probate.
Thank you very much. And probate costs money. Do you know why? Let me break this down for you guys, okay? The reason why it goes through the probate process is because, let's just say myself and let me pick somebody. Who is that? Dr. Clarissa? Dr. Clarissa and I were husband and wife, okay? Dr. Clarissa and I I'm married. Okay. I get in the argument because she puts raisins in her macaroni and cheese. And I told her I don't like raisins in my macaroni and cheese. And I get in an accident, right? And driving, because I'm on Clubhouse in one of the ratchet rooms. I crash, bang. Now, my name is on the title and her name is on the title, but I'm dead, right? I will this property to her. Okay. Now, am I still on the loan? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I still on title? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So I have to get off title because even though I'm dead, and I have to get off of the loan. Okay. In order for Dr. Clarissa to do anything with the property. So to avoid all of that and have her have to go through all of that, you put it in a trust because the trust can say, my property will go to my 3 kids and Dr. Clarissa. Okay. And then you guys come up with, you put, who the beneficiaries of that property is going to be, and you avoid the probate process altogether.
And if it's not in a trust, the 12 women that you met in those rooms could come and contest the will, right?
Oh, hold on now. At ease now. At ease. So that's a perfect example, guys. Any questions about why the trust is important? Okay. And affidavits to hire ship, it does not matter. It has to be, no matter what you say, a will, you're going to get in some trouble. If you have it in a trust, the will dies with you, the trust supersedes you. Okay. So that means that you do not own it anymore. The trust has specific provisions on how to transfer your asset from one person to another. Okay. Let me reset the room real quick. Money, 5 must-have generational wealth tools. Okay. We're going to, we hit the trust really hard. We're going to talk about the other topics. I really appreciate everybody coming to the stage. Shout out to everyone who pulled up today. We have 42 people here right now. We have 19 shares. Sharing is caring. Okay. Now, if you want me to continue to kick it like a sensei, I'm going to ask you guys to do me a favor. Share this to your hallway. Okay. By hitting the little recycle thing at the bottom of your phone and getting more people in here. In addition to that, down at the bottom, you'll see a clipboard with a plus sign. A clipboard and a plus sign. The bald-headed man with the plus sign, ping some people into this space so we can grow this space out. I'm talking about trust and hitting this really hard because this is the most important part to your generational wealth part. Okay. Now, we've talked about all of the positions in the trust, and we're only going to cover irrevocable and revocable trusts. Very simple. Revocable, the shortest one, can be changed. Irrevocable, the longest one, is very difficult to change. So just remember that. If you can remember those things and you know the positions, you're good to go. Okay. Land trust, special needs trust, all of those other trusts do not matter. The attorney will be able to carry you through that. But, the main thing that we want to talk about is revocable, irrevocable, and the positions. Are there any questions about the trust and what I talked about here today? Any questions?
Well, when they make the trust, is it going to specifically say if it's irrevocable or revocable, or how do you know the difference?
Great question. Okay. So the question that you ask is, are they going to, the attorney, you tell them you're going to take what you have, all of the things that you want to protect, to include bank checking and savings accounts and everything that you feel that's of value. Typically what I tell people when they're setting these things up, anything serialized should be protected in your trust. Okay. Diamonds, jewelry, precious metals, cars, furniture, all of that stuff can be put in your trust. Furniture, not so much. I mean, unless it's antique stuff, but you don't have to go all the way down to put in your, that llama cover couch that you've been having since you were in college with your girlfriend. Okay. You don't have to get that intricate in details, but you definitely want to get to the things that you feel that's of value, that you would want to, like my watches right now. I collect watches. Okay. And if you click the link above my head, you'll see this. Okay. So this watch that I have on right now, when I bought my first multi-unit, I had this watch on. And then when I also rented out assigned documents to big deals. I put in certain watches on, and then what I do is I put my serial. I in my trust, my son will inherit all of my watches. Okay. So that, and a lot of them are not that expensive watches. Some of them are really expensive and some of them are not that expensive. But these watches are sentimental in value to me because I either sign big deals, or if I'm doing an event that I'm speaking at, then he can say, hey, that watch that I have on right now, my dad was begging people to share this magnificent room on Clubhouse, or join the Facebook group at the top so people can win in real estate. And he had this watch on when I pass away. So, or if you have grandma, what are some things that, let's just go through these things and talk about this. Let's talk about grandma. Okay. What does grandma like to pass down besides butt whoopings?
Silver.
Silver, pearls,
China.
China. Oh God.
Yeah,
I knew
China. Yeah,
country.
China.
How did I
Vintage
know that
rings.
country Ashley was going to come in here and say China? China.
Don't
Yes,
do it.
Dr. Ashley. But grandmas do pass down China, and that dish of candy that sticks together that she done had in her house for 9 years, that when you pick up one piece, the whole candy dish come up. And that butterscotch. Okay.
You
Yes.
are really a hater. I just want you to know
Yes.
you're a hater, guy.
Further degree.
You
Yes.
are such a hater.
Yes, Dr. Ashley, China is one of them. Okay. All right. And things of that nature. But you brought up a good thing. China is expensive. Look, I have China.
Exactly.
Can y'all hear me? I think okay.
Yes.
Pass down.
Okay. We have China right now in my house. Okay. That's sitting in the glass that none of us eat off of. The white, it's white with a silver lining around it. And I'm like, this is the ugliest stuff. And a pewter tea set and all of
Isn't
that.
that the one where I accidentally grabbed that coffee cup out of your house?
Yep. $9
It's
million
beautiful.
for a
You won't
cup.
touch it.
Nobody eats off
You
of that
see me
stuff.
walking around, I got this bougie ass cup. I thought you were just fancy, that's all.
No, man. That's that.
That's funny.
See, that's China, man. Look, I said, man, you better put that back, man. Don't nobody, it might be some asbestos in there, man. We don't drink out of that stuff. So, and Ian had his pinky finger up, man. But let me go back to this thing, right? So we kind of understand why having a trust is important, right? Does anybody have any additional questions or any value to add in regard to the things that we are talking about? All right, outstanding. Catherine, are you here? Catherine, Sister Catherine. Okay, all right. Hannah, you want to tell the people who you are and what you do?
Ooh. Yes, good morning, everyone. This is Hannah. I am the newest member of the Win in Real Estate, the 10X Vets Club, and I am a real estate professional here in San Diego, California. So, serving veterans, buyers, sellers, investors, very familiar with this subject of trust. So I would love to come back to this point because we were in a position where we had no choice but to move forward and build the trust. And we wish we had done it years earlier. So I'm excited to contribute to this conversation today.
Can you give us an example of that? Can you just break that down and tell us a little bit about that briefly?
Well, so I think this is an important discussion for everyone. And so many times we forget about this thing, which is what happens when one person gets sick. And
That's a
in
good
my
one.
case, 2019, my husband, 45 years old, got the worst headache he'd ever had. And it turned out that not only was a tumor inside of his brain, but it was cancer. And he was given 6 months to live. Now, fortunately, he survived, right? He's still with us on this earth. But we're sitting at the hospital bed and realizing that we had forgotten about some pillars within our wealth building strategy. We thought we were just fine with a will. And the fact of the matter was we were not. We did not even have the documents needed if he were to pass. And so it took a process of sitting down with the attorney, building out the will, building out the trust, building out the estate plan, all while we're dealing with something very, very tragic. Lots of lessons learned, but Now our real estate is in the trust. Our bank accounts are in the trust. Everything we own is in that trust. So if he passes away tomorrow, we're going to be okay with the instructions as they are written.
Man, that's heavy, man. And what's your husband's name? His first name.
So my husband, by the way, 21 years Navy, senior chief retired. His name is Neil.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is, can we put a heart emoji in the chat for Neil? Okay. I wanna do this right now. Okay. Okay. Can we put a heart emoji in the chat for Neil? Because, you know, when we have, I didn't know the depth of that, but you know, my father passed away in 2010, and I'll share a quick story with you guys. The way that way you understand why I feel like it's important for me to do this. In 2006, my father was diagnosed with colon cancer, and he didn't drink or smoke. 32 years in the U.S. Army, 1st Cavalry. He was diagnosed with colon cancer, and the military doctors are ready, fire, aim versus ready, aim, fire. So he had been getting a clean bill of health for all of these years, and one day he said his stomach was hurting, so he went and he got checked out, and they said, "Hey, you got colon cancer, and you got 1 year to live, and then or we're gonna try to do surgery, and you're gonna walk around with a colostomy bag, right?" So he came out here, as a matter of fact, Balboa Naval Hospital, got this surgery. Sorry, guys, my throat is itchy, and got the surgery, and he was clear. Okay, because he was a very healthy man. And in that time in 2006, they found a small, which one's smaller, millimeter or centimeter? Millimeter, right?
Millimeter.
A small millimeter mass on his liver. And they said that it was, it's not, they knew about it in 2006, right? Fast forward to 2008, they said, hey, you have that millimeter turn into a centimeter mass on his liver, which they found out that it was cancer, but it was isolated. So that tumor grew to about 3/4 of his liver and consumed his liver, but it was isolated. So what do you think they did to him? Sprayed him with what? Chemo, right? Blasting him with chemo. His hands turned blue on the inside. He had whatever it's called. Couldn't drink cold water. Very tired and everything. Lost 60 pounds. And then they said, we're going to do surgery with chemo embolization, right? They opened him up. Guess what was too weak to cut the cancer out? The tumor, which led to him succumbing to cancer in 2010. Well, January of 2010, he set my family down and said, hey, I've been buying real estate. Which is the reasons why I'm in real estate today. You and your sister are going to be taken care of, and your stepbrother, I've made provisions to where you're taken care of for good. Well, my father passed away 2010, and my stepmother and my stepbrother said that he lost the will. So my biological blood father, my sister, because my father married a single parent, my sister and I didn't inherit 1 penny from my father, not a dime. Okay, guess who inherited my dad's wealth? My stepbrother. Okay, so my dad has me and my sister, passes away, okay? Now, remember, listen to what I'm saying, guys, because I really want you guys to hear this, and I'm going to take my time with this one, okay? My stepbrother is not my blood brother. My father married a single parent. He was 3 when they got married, okay? He worked all of his life, took care of my stepmother and her son, and I didn't move with my dad until I was 12. I was with my mother. And then he's the one who got me where I am today. And the reason why I'm sharing you guys with this is because I'm telling you, man, money will expose people. So I'm telling you, You don't know what people will do when you die. Okay. So if you want your assets to be protected, if you got cousins, nephews, uncles, nieces, and all of that stuff, people will fight over your assets, jewelry, cars, money. They'll go through your things. I've seen this real time, right? Now my grandmother died without a will, and my father died without a will. When my grandmother died without her will, I flew into Nashville, Tennessee to go check out on my grandmother's stuff, and it was people, my cousins and nephews in her house going through her stuff.
Like
Okay?
vultures.
Like vultures.
That's terrible, bro.
It's sick, man. It's sickening, right? So I'm telling you guys this stuff because you if you want to have rest and you don't want your wife or your husband or your kids fighting or getting put in a dilemma like I was in, let's really think about this, okay? My father built all of this wealth, okay? Bought all of these houses while he was in the military, okay? And then my mom says, we don't know what happened to the will because I asked for it. I didn't even get, the only thing that I wanted from my dad is I wanted his cavalry hat because when I was a kid, I used to put it on. It's a black cavalry hat when he was in the army, and I thought he was really cool. That's all I wanted. I didn't want anything else from him. So I'm saying all of that to say this, guys. You need to make sure that you guys have everything in place to avoid the scenario. Now, what do? I'm 100 times more wealthy than my father was. My sister is good to go, right? But I got a phone call in 2012 with them saying, hey, we have this land in Killeen, Texas, and your mom wants to sell it. I'm like, no, I'm not selling it. Send me the tax bill and I'll pay the taxes. So she knows where everything is at, but do I contest? Do I fight and break the relationship with my kids and my grandmother, their mother? Do I disrespect her and find out when or do I just let it go? Right? So this is the stuff that, as sick as it is, man, I love my stepmother, man, but also, she's going to die with that secret because my brother is a knucklehead. Okay. Now watch this. I'm going to take it one step further. My father, so we had the land issue. My brother, she paid off a house in Florida, her house. So I know she knows what he put in the will because she paid the house off. She bought another property with his VA loan. She utilized the money from the house that they were in to buy my brother a condo and a new truck. Okay. He can't afford this stuff. He got kicked out of the army for selling drugs. So I'm sharing that messy business with you guys because this stuff is not, you do not want to be in a situation that I'm in. To see people going through my grandmother's stuff looking for jewelry and money when I got there, and to see how this situation happened, it could fracture a family, right? Because I know if I can test my grandmother right now, if I can test my stepmother, right, it's going to cause friction within my family. And I don't want my kids to have to go through that. Any questions about trust?
Not now.
Okay.
Trust means you trust, basically. You trust everything's in place.
There you go, man. So when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm sharing that story with you so you're not in the same situation I'm in. Thank you guys for coming in and winning real estate. Who had a question?
Me. I have a question, but it kind of goes in a different direction.
No,
Is
go
it
ahead.
okay?
Jump in.
So the last time I was in this room, I committed to acquiring my first piece of property by January 1st, right? So I was just thinking, I know you're not advising this, but I just wanted to know if you were me, how would you operationalize this in terms of an order? So you acquire the property, you get the trust, you get the property. Like, how do you approach it as a plan?
Great question. Okay, so I'm gonna. So the question was, just so you got it, because I want to make sure that I want to introduce a couple of mods and I'm gonna answer your question. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to. I got that question in my head. Dr. Ice, man, can you let the people know who you are and what you do, and then we're gonna go to Anthony right after that.
Right. Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International. They call me ICE because it stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. When it comes to borrowing money, we have no clue as to how the bank is overcharging by 75%. A low interest loan does not mean low interest cost. And you can cut your cost on these loans by 75%. Why give it to them when you can take that money and build generational wealth with it? Money spent is money you can't also invest. Keep that in mind. That's what we do. We help you to grow generational wealth with the money the bank was supposed to get. I'm done.
Outstanding. Now, Don Daniels, I'm looking forward to podcasting with you. Anthony, we're going to be doing a podcast with him on Monday. So I want to connect with you and looking forward to getting the interview and letting us know how you started all of this stuff. And thank you for coming to this space. It really means a lot. Anthony Renew, are you here?
Anthony, you know what I heard? I heard I had the best podcast on the SITREP podcast. Actually, always got the best podcast, but everybody knows when you go to SITREP podcast, Stack Pack got the best episode. So make sure you tap in with SITREP and everything Anthony got going on. I was in the background, so appreciate you, Anthony. Appreciate the room, bro. Always supporting. Let's go.
And we appreciate you too, Stack Pack. And guys, if you're trying to get your socials on Flizaim, you better get with Stack Pack, man. I don't know why this is my favorite button, man. I got 100 buttons on this thing. It just sounds like money, man. I don't know why I like that sound. Okay, brother Anthony Renew, are you here? Anthony Renew. Tammy, are you here? My sister Tammy.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you let the people know who you are and what you do, sister?
I am Tammy, and I am an avid volunteer with Habitat and work done charities, and I love seeing people prosper. So I pull up, support, and help you prosper.
And we really appreciate that, Tammy. Now, let's go back to this question. Thank you for joining us. Everybody, thank you for joining us. If you guys are liking this conversation, put a fire emoji in the chat. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you want us to continue kicking it like a sensei. The other 4 pillars are very easy to do. Okay, but reverse engineering, I'm going to give them to you real quick. Number 1, trust. We went over that. Number 2 is going to be your corporate structure. Okay. Corporate structure. Number 3 is going to be a piece of real estate. Number 4 is going to be life insurance. And number 5 is going to be your pension and retirement accounts. So we're going to tell you where to find all of this stuff. Okay. So once again, trust. Okay. Trust. Corporate structure. Okay. Life insurance, real estate, and pension plans. Those are the 5 pillars to generational wealth. You get majority of them. If you don't get some of them, get something. Okay. And then we're going to go through these really quick. Okay. So the question that you asked was, what is the structure that you would have in regard to structuring everything out with your property? Okay. Are you ready, Clarissa? I'm going to break it down with my man, Ian Jensen. Ian, are you here?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So she gets the property. What's the first step, Ian?
You got to put it in a trust.
Put the property in the trust. That's step 1. Okay. Now, what's the second step, Ian?
So can I ask
All
a
right.
question right there?
Yes.
Is it me buying the property or is it the LLC buying the property? Like, what do am I understanding am I not
Yes.
supposed to be?
You,
Okay.
you're doing it the right. You okay. So if your property, the LLC, let me tell y'all something about this, man. A lot of people are saying, get the LLC and then you got to get the property that's going to buy. How are you going to buy the property with an LLC when the LLC has no credit? What will that trigger, Ian, if I transfer that property into an LLC name and I got a note on it?
No, get ready because you're about to get a whopper of a bill.
Dude,
So the bank doesn't like that because they approved you to buy that loan. You know, you, the person with your job and your income. They didn't approve a business without like proper credit. You know, a business is the same as a person. You know, you need income, a history of credit, all that stuff. Like, I'm not an expert on it, but I know that much. So the bank approved you, the person, to buy that house. If all of a sudden you switch it over to somebody else, the bank did not approve that other entity to pick up that note. So they don't like that. They feel like they're at risk. So if they ever feel like they're at risk, they do something what's called calling the note, which means you got to pay up today. Like, you know, you owe 400 grand on that house. We'll figure it out. Otherwise, they're taking the house back.
Bingo. That's
Got
called.
it. So
That's
can
called.
I ask you another question, Ian,
One
about
one
what you just
second. Let me
said?
build with you. Let me build with you.
Okay.
Okay. So let me unpack that. Okay. You can buy the property in the LLC name. Yes, you can, but you have to establish business credit to get the financing for it. Okay. Does that make sense? So if you're doing any type of traditional financing,
It does.
or if you're trying to get, you can absolutely unequivocally buy a property with an LLC, but you have to, the LLC does have to qualify for that. Okay. Typically your personal guarantee is going to be your credit, and if you're an investor, they're going to utilize your income, not the business income. So remember, you need three things to finance stuff: credit, collateral, and capital. Okay. So if your LLC, you just formed the LLC, you have to get a business line of credit to use that money for the down payment to buy the property. You understand what I'm saying? So there's pros and cons to having the property be owned by the limited liability company, because it's a business, and therefore usually the interest rates are higher. And the reason why they're higher is because the personal guarantee is the company. So, and a company is risky. So you can lose the company and still have your personal assets. So it's much, much easier to buy property with your personal guarantee. Now, if you get into bigger deals and stuff like that, and you're buying commercial real estate and all of that, you have to have a history of buying stuff and experience, but you absolutely can utilize LLCs to buy property. So I want to be clear. However, it's much easier to get it with your personal guarantee, your income, because let me ask you a couple of things. All right. Number one, do you have an LLC?
Not anymore. No.
So think about it. You have to establish the LLC, get business line of credit, utilize the business line of credit to put the down payment on the property, and then whoever's lending you the money has to agree to the terms that you provide, usually hard money or private money, right? In order to buy that property, or not a non-QM, which is untraditional lending to get that loan, right? Because typically conventional FHA, VA are traditional loans, right? Those are traditional style loans. Now, when you start doing business purpose loans or anything else, yes, you can get financing, but they are going to utilize it's easier to get better interest rates when you have collateral and capital and credit. Does that make sense?
It does.
Now,
Um, Go ahead.
okay, so
Go ahead.
here it is right here. Step one, you get the property, put it in the trust. So that means you don't own it. Step two, you're going to get the LLC. And then step three, you're going to get insurance. Step four, you're going to put tenants in there. And then your tenants are going to pay the LLC. And then the LLC is going to pay you as an employee. That's the flow that Anthony Glenn would do it. Now, here's the reason why you flow the money through the LLC. Ian, Bruno, are you here? Who's here? Why do I want
Yeah,
to?
I got it.
Why do I want to flow the money through the LLC?
Oh, okay. So you want to flow the money through the LLC for those couple reasons that Anthony was just talking about. One, because it gives you a history of income for that business. So you start building up your like your bank accounts. So you got a history of credit, and then you obviously got collateral, right? Like you got cash in the bank, and then capital at the same time for the same reason. Actually, sorry, the cash is the capital. And then you use that history of that capital to apply for credit. So, but anyway, what you do with those, once you have all that set up, the real big play is that you can start funding those pension plans that Tony was talking about as one of the main pillars of the generational wealth structure that we're teaching about right now. Is that you use the money that other people gave you for the investment property that you own, and then you use that to leverage to buy interest-bearing accounts, IRAs, SEP IRAs, anything like that. So that way the money is growing in the background from the income that you received.
Bingo. That is a lot. That's where a lot of people make the mistake at. Okay. Remember, I get the property, step one. Okay. Now this goes into the third pillars. I get the property. I put the property in the trust, so I get it out of my name. Step two. Okay. The property's out of my name. The trust owns it. I create the limited liability company, which is the next pillar that I have. So now I solve three things. I have the trust. That's the first pillar of generational wealth. I have the limited liability company, or the corporate structure. Step two. Okay. I fund the corporate structure with the money coming in, so the tenants pay the limited liability company. I take that paperwork and I open up a business checking savings account, and I open up my pension plans, right? So when I get paid, the reason why you want to listen to me, guys, the reason why you want to set up the limited liability company is because that unlocks your opportunity to fund higher distributions to your pension plans. You cannot fund a 401k unless you work for somebody, or you're an employee or an employer. If you have a corporate structure, you are an employer. That way you get to fund a 401k, a SEP IRA, and defined benefit plan. That's over $300,000 you can put in there tax deferred for your retirement to grow generational wealth. Okay. Now, who wants to add to that, or any questions that anybody has in regard to that? Let me recap real quick before we ask the questions. Trust, first wheel. Okay. Imagine a car. Trust is the motor. Okay. That's going to keep the engine going. The front left wheel is going to be your real estate. You get the real estate next. The real estate's going to go in a what? In the what? What's the real estate?
Trust.
In the trust. Okay. So the real estate is the trust complements the real estate. The front right wheel is going to be your corporate what? Structure. Next. The back wheel is going to be your contribution and pension plans. Now, the reason why you want to set up the LLC is because, remember, I'm going to put these in the chat. Well, actually, Ian, can you put them in the chat right now? This is the game. I'm telling you, this is a multi-million-dollar game right here for free. I'm not charging anyone for it. I'm giving it to you for free. Follow these steps, and I promise you, you will be a rich person. You will be on the beach drinking, a Mai Tai with your Speedos on, or your one piece, okay, with the little skirt on it. And you'll be like, man, I remember when this guy was on Clubhouse and he was telling me about my 5 generational wealth pillars. All right, listen. The reason why you set up your pension plans is because that is going to give you, or the corporate structure is because that's going to give you this, the ability to set up your pension plans. It's also going to give you the ability to lower your taxable income. Now, who has value or questions right now? Because right now we cooking 67 people right now, 187 here, 30 shares. Who has questions?
And her so with the LLC, before she starts getting paid, it needs to be an operating agreement in place, right? Can you talk about that?
That is correct. Okay, here's a little bit of trivia right now. I'm glad that you said that. All right. Matter of fact, I'm not going to answer that question until I need 10 more shares right now. I need 10 more shares right now. Okay. If you want me to continue to kick it like a sensei, I need 10 shares and 10 more people on stage right now. Cause y'all getting this game for free, man. At least y'all could do is y'all want to learn from me, at least support me by getting on stage right now. Okay. Okay. R777 life insurance, or the elders in your family pay into your trust as well? I'm going to answer that question because that's the next wheel. Okay. I'm inviting you guys on stage right now. I need, Ian, let me know when we get to 10. We had 69 people, 189 people here right now. I've been rocking and rolling for an hour and 20 minutes. I need 4 more shares right now. We're at 36. I need to get to 40 shares right now. Okay. And I need 10 people to get on stage if y'all really want me to continue to kick this information, because this is what we're not going to do. We're not just going to get in the game, give you all of this game. Y'all open up y'all own room. Okay. And say, here's the 5 generational wealth tools. Okay. All right. And you can't explain it or breaking it down like this. You're getting it for free. Okay. This is how I make, this is how, man, if I told y'all, this is how my daughter, my kids, one property will pay $25 million if they keep it for 60 years. Okay. I'm telling you the game. All right. But I need more support by people. Okay, we broke the shares. I'm at 42. Now I need 4 more people to raise their hand and get on stage right now by clicking the clipboard down at the bottom next to the bald-headed man and the plus sign and the microphone. Get on stage right now, okay? Because that helps us. You do not have to speak, but what that helps us do is it helps us grow the space, okay? Now, who has now operating agreement? I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to go through certificate of authority as well. Who has questions that's on stage right now about what we're talking about? Because I'm breaking it down. There's no reason why you won't leave in this room today. We're going to pour into you and bless you by getting this information, giving you this information for free. No chaser. All right.
Quick question for Clarissa about the intention of buying a house. Like, are you buying it for your personal use or as an investment property?
As an investment property. Is that Gerald? I'm sorry, real estate G?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay, so it's
as an
merely
investment property.
okay. Yep, we tracking there. Yep.
I have a question because I came in towards like the end of what you were saying. I just want to make sure I understood correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you're saying to get the trust correct,
Yep.
buy the real estate, put the real estate in the trust.
Yep.
The corporate structure is the LLC.
That's correct.
And then put people in the property, make money from the tenants, correct?
That's correct. The tenant pays the LLC. Now,
Okay.
the tenant pays the LLC. We're going to pause right there because this is a fundamental piece, okay? The tenant is going to pay the LLC, okay? And we're going to talk about, I want certificate of authority and operating agreement in the chat right now, okay? And I'm tying all of this together. Right now, I'm making a cake, okay? All right? I got my sugar, I got my butter, I got my vanilla, I have my powder, the flour, okay? I got my baking powder, I got my brown sugar. Okay. I'm going through this process so you guys understand how important it is to have all of these pillars because I'm going to show you how that motor is going to drive your generational wealth. Okay. We're going to give you an example of how one property will print money infinitely. Okay. Now, Ian, can you tell me why it's important to have the are you guys enjoying this conversation, man? Put a 1 in the chat if I'm breaking it down to where you can understand it. Put a 2 in the chat if you're lost. Because I have to make sure that the student understands what the teacher is teaching. Okay. I just don't want to talk to you. I want to be able to break this down so you fundamentally understand why I'm telling you about all of these pieces. Okay. Okay, great. I see some ones. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the Ian, why do I want somebody on stage that's been in my space? Give me a couple of reasons why I want to establish a corporate structure and run my money through there. Why am I doing that?
Because it positions you for tax to reduce your tax liabilities.
Give me an
And it
example.
also so when you operate in a corporate structure, LC, S corp, C corp, some types of partnerships, how the IRS looks at the revenue or the money that flows through the business is different than when you have a job making W-2 income. When you make money in the business, it comes in as revenue, and then typically you reduce it by your expenses, and then what's left over is profit. Then that's what's taxable. And then the play that you talked about with setting up the pension plans, that's another way to reduce your tax liability with that revenue. So you giving the game at the highest level, and you're doing a great job at making it simple and plain.
Hell yeah.
Thank you guys, and I really appreciate that. He hit it right on the head. Okay, let me give you an example right now. These numbers I want you guys to put in the chat right now. I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about real quick. Okay, so Ian, are you ready to rock and roll? You ready to go?
Yeah, let's run it.
Okay, all right. Max contribution to a 401k.
401k is 22.5, I believe.
$22,500. Max contribution to a SEP IRA.
$66,000.
Okay. So put that in the chat. 401k, 22,000. I want y'all to add this up. $22,500 and $66,000. What? Okay, now max contribution to a defined benefit plan, $265,000. Okay. So add that up and tell me what that number is, Ian, please.
Okay, so what? $275,000, right?
$265,000 for the defined benefit
265.
plan.
All right, plus 22.5, and then plus 66 equals $353,500 per year. Per year.
Each year. Now, let me show you this other part to this piece, okay? Now, that means that if I made $100,000, okay, and I put 300 and how much?
56,000.
356,000. Let me show you how the IRS looks at this. Okay, so that means that they're not going to tax the $1 million. They're going to tax that $365,000 is going to go into that account, and then they're going to tax you on the rest of it as income. Now, the reason why you got the corporate structure, let me give you another thing. I'm gonna give you 3 examples of why the IRS. Okay, so imagine, do you want to be taxed on $1 million or do you want to be taxed on $500,000? Which one?
100.
$500,000, right? So how do I get to that number? I need to buy a piece of real estate. Now, let me give you an example, okay? Let me give you another example of why you want to set this corporate structure up. Hannah is my daughter, Ian's my son. I hire them in my LLC as members in my LLC. LLC has members, S Corp has what?
It's shareholders.
Shareholders,
Say that again. I'm gonna say it again. LLC has what?
members,
Members.
And then S Corps have.
Share.
shareholders.
Is that Sierra? Who's that
Miss
speaking?
Clarissa. It's Clarissa.
Okay, all right. You sound like Sierra. Wake up, Dr. Clarissa J. All
I'm gonna
right.
wake
Okay.
up. See?
Wake
That
up,
energy.
Jack. Put that energy, man. Stack Pack, man. Where you at? Can you put some gasoline on this thing, man?
And listen,
Oh
let me
my
do a
God.
let me do a quick reset. You guys are just joining. We've been talking about generational wealth tools. Anthony's been kicking it like a sensei. We need to raise the energy up. And if you guys agree, throw some fire emojis in the chat. Anytime I come, let's raise the vibrations. Let's get up in the chat, ping the room up, share the room up, and have more people come learn about the generational wealth, the tools that Anthony had. How you can come get your social media on fling with me too. A lot of people don't know you need your social media. You need that presence. You need those billboards, those magazines, right? You need everything to amplify your presence. So I'm just here supporting. I'm on top of the roof like a sniper. Let's go, Anthony. Big stack. Leg.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So guys, okay, so number one, okay, all right. So I hired my 2 kids. My kids, I can pay my kids $12,950 tax free for working in my company as marketers, right? So now I have another $25,000 that I get to deduct. Now I want to go to Disneyland, okay? I get my minutes document, hint, hint. If you click the link above my head, guys, this minutes document is in the Facebook group. So guys, above my head, you'll see me going live. I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. So I can hire my children, lower my taxable income by $25,000. Okay, as long as I thoroughly document it on a minutes document that I'm having a corporate event. Now, if I wanted to go to Disneyland and I take my children, is that a corporate event?
Hell yeah.
Yes, it is. If Granny is in my business and I want to fly Granny out here for the holiday to have a real estate meeting or a company meeting in an LLC during Thanksgiving, New Year's, is that a corporate expense?
Absolutely.
If I want to take my entire family out to eat and talk about real estate during Thanksgiving, is that a corporate event?
100.
Yes, because they're in my business. Now, let me tell you one step further. I want y'all to put these numbers in the chat. 280A G. It's easy to remember. 280A Anthony Glenn. Just remember that, okay? So anytime you look at 280A, in the Hannah, can you do me a favor? I want you to Google 280AG and then read what it is for me, Hannah, and let me know. Come off mic when you're ready to explain it. Okay. Now here's another 280AG. Okay, Google that and then read it to me, Hannah. You got that? Just let me know. Just come back to the stage when you got it. Okay.
Okay, here we go. 280 AG. Turn your home into tax-free income. So, it's a IRS section code to specify that the rental income you personally earn is tax-free if you rent your home to your business for less than 15 days during the taxable year.
Boom. Okay, so Dr. Clarissa,
Yeah.
let's just say that you rented your property out. Let's go through these holidays. I want everybody to participate right now because I'm giving y'all all types of game, okay? Number one, okay, let's go through the holidays. How many holidays are there in there? Just rattle them off. Give me one by one.
Birthday,
Birthday,
Halloween, Christmas,
Christmas,
Thanksgiving for
Thanksgiving,
some people, Labor Day for some
Labor
people,
Day,
4th of July,
4th of July. Keep going.
uh,
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, Veterans
there
Day,
is
Halloween,
Groundhog's Day.
Groundhog's Day, President's Day, Memorial Day,
Labor Day.
MLK.
MLK Day.
Labor
Okay.
Day.
So that's about 14, don't you think?
mm-hmm,
Do we have people come to our house during those days? Sometimes?
Yes.
yep,
Okay. So why not? And if you got an LLC, right? And you had a minutes document and you got all of this food and stuff, right? And you decide to have your company meeting at your house, you can expense that. Let's just say that party was $1,000. That's 14.
Talk to me or just work?
That's $14,000 that you guys could write off. Anybody have any questions about the Augusta rule and how it operates?
Mhm.
Okay, somebody's off mute.
Okay.
We got a hot mic. Okay. So as we're talking about this stuff, guys, listen to me. The reason why I'm telling you guys the power of the LLC is because you can't not do that if you don't have your corporate structure. The corporate structure, in complementary to the pension plan that I just talked about, is going to give you the ability to set up this thing so your house prints the money, your company prints the money. Your rental income then goes into your pension plan to lower your taxable income. Number two. Number three, all of that stuff's in the trust. So in the event that you die, whoever your successors are inherit that, those two things that print money. Your pension plans do not print money when you die. The money grows, but it does not print money. So the two most important fundamental things that you should have in your business is the LLC and the real estate. Those things print money infinitely because if you die, that rental property with the LLC continues to print money out. Now, the third thing is the pension plan. I want you guys to put these in the chat. I'm gonna put this in the chat right now for you. Publication 560 in the IRS code. Put it right now. Pub 560 IRS code. Okay. I'm not going to go through this, but this is where you're going to do your own homework. You're going to read that and then find out the where you can put where your money's going to grow 12% over time because the S&P 500, the index funds are at a 12% on average over the last 10, 15 years. So basically, your company and your real estate's printing money. That money's going into your pension plans. That money's growing. Okay. And then it's protected by your trust. So when you die, those two things continue to print money. Your LLC and your what? Your real estate. Okay. Now, the next pillars is going to be super easy for you guys. And I'm going to go through these really quick and then we're going to open it up for questioning. Okay. I got my property. I got my LLC. I have my trust. I have my pension plan set up. Okay. Now, the fifth and final pillar is going to be life insurance. Let me reset the room. You guys are in a really real estate house. Are you guys enjoying this conversation? Put a fire emoji in the chat if you like what we're talking about today. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you like what we're talking about today. If you learn something, I'm driving you where you can find this stuff, okay? I'm going to type a couple of things in the chat so you guys could go through this and research your notes. And I'm going to show you guys where I am going to show you where this money prints money. Now, I'm going to use an example of one property that my daughter has. And I always like to give this example, or a rental property that I have. I'll do New Bern, North Carolina that I have. Let me see what rent that I get for this property. Okay. So the property I bought in New Bern, North Carolina in 2002. This property right now is getting me $22.50 a month for rent. Okay. Now, Ian, can you do me a favor and put the compound interest calculator at the top?
Yeah, I got it.
As he's doing that, does anybody have any questions about the four wheels? Trust, corporate structure, pension plan, and life insurance. I'm going to show you how the life insurance is going to complement all of this stuff and tie everything together. Okay. Anybody have any questions on stage? Come on, man. We got all these people, man. Somebody has to have a question.
I have a question, Anthony, but I don't know if it's the right time to ask. If
You ask
I
your
should
question,
ask,
sister. You ask it.
Okay. Let's just say, for an example, a person starts a job, 401k starts, you contribute, the employer contributes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because of the employer contribution, and you have to wait 5 years in order to be vested, in order to go ahead and move that money someplace other than where the employer wants to invest it. Can I move that money into the pension plan, as far as the business, the real estate business, or do I have to quit the job? This is just a scenario that I was thinking of in my head. Do I have to quit the job and then move to be able to move? Well, I wouldn't do that to be able to move the money. But do you know where I'm going with this?
Okay, so
No.
I think your question is, can you transfer your 401k money into ask your question one more time. So I think or does anybody understand the question or want to elaborate, because I'm trying to understand it.
Well, do I have to wait the 5 years? When you invest, the company invests. Do I have to wait the 5 years to invest that money into my corporate structure, as far as the pension, um, placing the money into the pension plan of the business?
I just went through this actually. It depends on who's managing your portfolio.
Okay,
Usually they won't release it, right? Because we know that 59 and a half years old thing, or you leave the company, is when it's all released to you. But they have like five different categories of partial releases, like hardship, buying a new property. But it's you qualify for only the portion of it that you've contributed, not the matched portion.
Let
Like if
me
your company's matching it.
perfect.
Yes. Okay. So here's another thing too. You can put, okay. So remember, 401k, SEPs, and simple IRAs are retirement and pension accounts. They all work the same. You can transfer money out of your 401k into your SEP IRA because it is a pension plan, or your Roth IRA. It's called a rollover, but you have to do it a certain way, and you have to follow specific guidelines to do that. Now, for the vested portion, like she just said, in complementary to that, you will, if you utilize money before the maturity age, you're going to pay a penalty, right? But sometimes that penalty, that 10% penalty that they put on with rolling over, sometimes the investment vehicle that you want to do changes, right? Me, it makes sense to, I rolled my TSP, which is a thrift savings plan, into my SEP IRA, because I have a self-directed SEP IRA. That means that I can pick my own stocks. So my TSP, which is thrift savings plan, I had like $250,000 in there. I put that money, but I only grew like 8% for the duration of the time that I had it in there. But I was getting like 78% return on my money in my SEP IRA. So it made sense for me to have more control over that money. So I did a transfer from one pension plan to another with avoiding penalties. Now, for your matching situation, to be complimentary to what Dr. J said, for her situation, if you have matching where they're matching that, you might have to be vested in order to do that, and it might be a penalty for those stocks that they're matching versus your own money. Did that answer your question?
It did. It did. I
So
went through something similar also, so I was just making sure they didn't, you know, they, oh gosh, they got me as far as taxes, but it's okay. It's okay. But I just wanted to ask that question. Yeah, from professionals. So thank you for that, Anthony. I appreciate it, and thank you, the young lady that also said she went through that too.
that's an old
Thank you
lady
for
you talking
saying
to.
young.
That's an
Okay,
old
Anthony.
lady. Yeah.
Stand down. Stand down. Thank you for saying young. That was so nice. That made my day.
So the doctor right there, man. When you got doctor in front of your name, you be chewing gum and it be popping. I'm a doctor, okay? I just want to let you know. I don't know what it is, Doctor Clarissa. Clarissa, I'm gonna quit messing with you. But listen, this
It's
information.
all love, Anthony.
This information, it's the AKAs. That's what it is. I'm surprised Dr. Ashley ain't over there. She's probably playing with the toys in her car seat. Um, Let me get back to the conversation, y'all. She ain't listening. That's why I'm going in on her. She's not listening right now. But are there any questions about the four wheels: trust, corporate structure, life insurance, and pension plans?
Well, when
For
we
us,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, ladies first.
I like that,
So I
brother.
just wanted to be, yeah, that was nice. I just want to be sure, as a good student, I'm a beginner real estate investor, and I just wanted to it when I'm ready to make a move as a beginning real estate investor. The first thing I need to do is get a trust. The second thing I need to do
No,
is set up. Okay,
the
so
first
I need
thing.
to buy the property as Clarissa, then
Mhm.
put that in a trust.
That is correct. You need
Okay.
and you don't need to get a trust if you don't have any assets to protect.
I was, yeah, okay. Just trying to make sure I understood the order. So when I have this idea in my head and I'm ready to make a move because I have a January 1st commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I buy the property as Clarissa. Then I put the property in a trust. Then I set up my corporate structure in LLC, get the operating agreement in place.
That's correct.
You want you okay.
That's correct. Now let's pause on this operating agreement, guys. If you guys want me to tell you why you need an operating agreement, okay, put a 1 in the chat, okay? Because Ian's gonna break down the operating agreement step by step, okay? Ian, are you there? Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to tell you why this operating agreement is important. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead, kick it like a sensei, brother.
Oh, okay, so operating agreement. So this is kind of
We,
the bylaws of your company. All right.
yeah,
So what it does is can you hear me?
we need
All right,
some
cool.
more than that, bro. They ain't enough ones for me, bro. Can we get some more ones before Ian break down the operating agreement? Y'all need to get
One,
up everybody in the
get them
chat.
up there. Let's see the ones. All right, here we go. All right, so operating agreement. So this is a really critical piece of documentation that you need for your company. What it does is it lays out all the different kind of structures, organizational and I would say like command structure, if we're going to use a military term, of your core of your business. So what it does is it lays out who's in charge, who's doing what, who can sign for what, who's responsible for all the different situations. So that way, whenever somebody is either held accountable and somebody is also, it lays out like who can process the different functions of the business, because you don't want somebody who's at a lower level employee have authorization to write checks or open accounts or take out lines of credit. So all that, it gets laid out in your operating agreement. Back to you, Tony.
Okay, bingo. Let me tell you the parts that you want in your operating agreement. You want an arbitration clause if there's more than one member. You need a mediation clause. Okay. Those two things, arbitration, mediation clause. Okay. And then you also want a neutral third party in the event that you guys have disputes. Those three things: arbitration clause, mediation clause, and a neutral third party for decision making in the event that you guys have, a dispute. Now, why do I need to have those three things? Can anybody tell me on stage what they are and how they operate? Arbitration clause, mediation clause, and neutral third party.
Arbitration clause is how you're going to handle any kind of disputes in the business. If all of a sudden there's and it sets up an agreement so that way it doesn't have to go to court. Arbitration clauses are also used in real estate a lot, so that makes sure that you guys have to make some kind of effort of resolving it amongst yourself, and you can't just like cry to mama and then take it all to court.
And then mediation means that you go to mediation before you go to court and spend all types of money. So you meet with a mediator and see if you can come to a meeting of the minds. And then you have to go through these steps. Then you have to go through the neutral third party to make a decision. Then you have to go to court. Okay. So you put these provisions in place as you grow your business, right? Now, let's go back to this life insurance piece, and then we're gonna wrap things up, guys. Did you guys enjoy this space today, man? Because I think we went through this. I like doing the trust first and getting through the trust because that one takes the longest. But I really, really like going backwards because what this does is it helps you kind of understand why you have it instead of getting the real estate. Because when I start doing the real estate first, people like, he trying to sell me a home. But when I go backwards and people understand the steps, you understand why. Remember, the real estate prints money. The LLC prints money because your tenants are paying the LLC to print the money. So you're building the 3 C's, credit, collateral, and capital, by having the LLC. And then you have the piece of real estate that's protected by the trust. So that prints your LLC, and your real estate continues to appreciate over time because your LLC is getting money. So the bank's going to want to lend you money. Okay. And then your kids, if you have children, they can inherit that company that's been getting money and revenue, right? As the property value goes up. Does that make sense?
Amen.
Okay. Are there any questions? The stage is open, man. We got 67 people here right now, 251 winners that came here, 46 shares.
Hey, Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony, what was the last C? You said credit, collateral, and what else?
Capital.
Question.
Capital. Okay. Credit, collateral, and capital. Well, those are the the three fundamental things to build business lines of credit or to build credit. Now here's I'm going to ask a pop quiz if you guys have been in my room. Okay. And I heard the lady come off I think it's Vision. Okay. I think you had a question. What's your question? Or Karen, is that you? Karen Scroggins?
Yeah, my question was, once you get a trust, and then the next your what do we call it, structure, then you do the LLC. But I'm just want to make clear that, let's see, you see a rental home, or commercial, whatever, and you buy it. But then later, when you do the LLC, when you buy in the wrong name in that case. And then when you form the LLC, then you change the deed or everything. I just wanted to know about that.
Okay, so your question is, when you buy the property, you bought it in your name, correct?
Right.
Okay, so all you got to do is go down.
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Okay, so all you have to do is, the reason why you buy the property first and you get it closed is because all you have to do is, when you set up your trust, you have the asset to put in the trust. So if you set the trust up, you pay that money, then you're gonna have to go back to the attorney and then pay the attorney more money for his time to put that asset in there, right? Versus You buy the property, close on the property, and then you take that, you go set up your trust, and then an attorney will transfer that. He'll formulate the documentation, and then you will notarize it, and then he will send it to the title office so those properties are recorded in in the trust name. So when you look up the property, okay, when you look the property up, it'll say, 1234 Elm Street Trust. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, part of it. But when
What's
it comes to the LLC,
mm-hmm.
at what point do you transfer the property name that's in the trust
You don't.
to the
You
LLC?
don't. That's a great
You don't.
question. I get what you're saying
Correct.
now. You don't. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, the LLC is operating solely just to run the business. So the
Okay.
LLC, all the LLC is doing is the tenant is paying the LLC, the limited liability company, and then that's just drawing that. The only reason why you establish that business is to run your rental income through, right? And to build business credit
Okay.
and then protect the money that you have coming in. Remember, you don't own it, so the trust operates as the house, and the LLC operates as the beneficiary. So when the tenant when you set up the LLC, you set the LLC up as a company that operates the rental income business. That's all you're doing. Okay. So when the tenant moves in, the
Okay.
tenant pays the limited liability company, right? You don't have to transfer the LLC. You don't have to do anything with the LLC, because if you have a regular real estate, like a conventional loan or anything else, okay, and it's a owner occupant conventional, if you transfer that property into the LLC's name, you can accelerate the note because you don't own it anymore. The LLC owns it, which is a business that did not qualify for that, right? And the reason why is because, remember, your personal guarantee was your personal credit. Now you can do it. You can listen to
Hmm.
me. I want to be clear. You can buy a property in a LLC, right? You can do that. You also can transfer the property
Right.
into the LLC's name. However, your LLC, when you do that, you better make sure that you call the bank and say, "Hey, I want to transfer my ownership to this company," and you have to make sure that you abide by the regulations that you did, because when you bought that property, you bought it under your social security number. The LLC has a EIN number that works like a social security number. So you do not, if you put the property in the trust is just operating the rental income business. It's not, you don't, the LLC doesn't have to own the property.
Okay. So the trust name could be whatever name.
Yes, the trust can be named whatever name that you want to make it. Karen, to answer your question, it could be, now, one thing that I don't advise is that for you to put the trust name in your name. Don't make it Anthony Glenn II from Atlanta, Georgia Trust. Okay. If you're gonna name the trust, the whole purpose of the trust is so they know you don't own it. If they look up the property and it's entitled in Anthony Glenn II from Atlanta, Georgia on Clubhouse Trust, then they're gonna know that I own it, right? You want the trust to be ambiguous in nature, like the property address name, 1234 Elm Street Trust. Okay. Same with your
Amen.
same with your corporate structures. You set up an LLC, you have one property. Each individual, the way I operate things is that I either have a series LLC. Okay. Ian, can you look up series LLC,
Yep.
please, and read this definition? Or I have a single member LLC. Now, each property that I own has its own individual corporate structure. Can anybody tell me why?
I can handle it.
It reduces your liability.
You don't get sued as
Bingo. If I got 9 businesses in one limited liability company and I catch a lawsuit, then 9 businesses can garnish wages from all of those businesses that are owned by the LLC. So think about it. If I had a mentor and coaching company, let's go through all of the companies that we own. We have a real estate company, a mortgage company, a transaction coordinator company, a coaching company, right? And 10X Vets. If all of those companies are in one LLC and I get sued, then all of the revenue coming in under that LLC can be contested. Now,
you like
everybody, Mark, go ahead, jump in, brother. Hey guys, you gotta let me land when I'm cooking, man. Okay, because it throws off my creative chi. All right, what you got, Mark?
No, I'm saying just like what you said, be like dominoes if you had that shit under one umbrella, you know.
That's correct. You're
If
absolutely
somebody,
right, brother. You're absolutely right. So when you guys are going through this thing, and you have all of these companies in one limited liability company, then if you catch a lawsuit, then they can garnish all of the wages that the companies that you have within that limited liability company. So my highest suggestions is to either do a series LLC or a single member LLC within your company. Can you, Ian? Can you read the definition of a
Definition.
series?
Yep, got you. Series limited liability company, commonly known as a Series LLC and sometimes abbreviated as SLLC, Sierra Lima Lima Charlie, is a form of limited liability company that provides liability protection across multiple series, each of which is theoretically protected from liabilities arising from the other series. So basically, it's a parent company. If you have like 6 different companies owning 6 different properties, you have a Series LLC that controls all of them. Back to you, Tony.
Oh man, that's the best. That is the greatest definition that I've ever heard. Okay, it's like a holding company. Okay, with multiple companies within the holding company. That's a whole different conversation. Now, when you start rolling up like you got start high rolling and you have multiple properties, holding company, I think is something that I need to talk about. Okay, but we're not going to open up that can of worms, but we will give you the definition next. Holding company. Let me cover the life insurance policy first. And I'm going to give you one example of how my policies are structured. I'm not going to get into that because we got to land soon. Does anybody have any questions on stage? Because I'm about to cover the how I have my life insurance policy structured. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I got one. Did you record this? I just want to make sure you're recording this.
Oh yeah, it's recorded, brother. You like this information, huh?
No, I love it. And
What
thanks again.
I got a question, Anthony.
you got, brother?
So when you get to the pension part, like how do you create the pension part, like the IRAs or whatever?
That's a good question. Okay, so you're gonna call up the bank and tell them about, and then you're gonna read publication 560 and pick which ones you want to set up. My 3 favorite ones are the 401k, the SEP IRA, and the defined benefit plan. That's my 1, 2, and 3. SEP, I like that one because I can have real estate in that one, and then I can contribute up to 66,000. That's my favorite one. Okay, and that's 25% of the income that you make. So let's just say you're on payroll and you made $100,000. You paid yourself $100,000. You do have to pay yourself $100,000. Okay, not you made $100,000. You have to pay yourself $100,000 on payroll. Okay, you're able to put 25% of that payroll into your SEP IRA, and this is the reason why a lot of people don't even know that you cannot contribute to a SEP IRA unless you are an employer. How do you become an employer? You buy a piece of real estate and then you hire yourself in your limited liability company. Do you understand why I'm telling you guys the benefit of having an LLC? Because the IRS favors people who own businesses and real estate. Who can tell me why?
Because the
They employ
money
people.
that they get, yeah, it gets taxed. The money that you earn and the money that you get spent gets taxed in other directions for the federal government. So they feel like if they give you a discount in this particular area, they will get more tax dollars elsewhere from allowing that investment or incentivizing that investment.
Outstanding, right? So the reason why the IRS favors limited liability, the reason why the IRS favors companies is because companies, you hire people. That's why you get more benefits from that, and then you're contributing to the GDP, which is money flowing in. You're hiring people. That means you're giving money, so people go out and spend money that keeps our economy strong. And then real estate is because real estate pays for all of the municipalities, police, your property taxes goes towards that. So they're going to give the highest level of benefits to people who own businesses, nonprofits, and real estate. Those 3: nonprofit, businesses, and real estate. Those 3. Okay. So these are the reason why it's important to understand this. Now, So for your pension plan, you just you read, you call the bank, tell them that you want to set it up, and they set it up for you. You can have self-directed or non-self or directed. The fundamental difference between the two is self-directed means that you pick your own stocks. Directed means that you have a financial advisor from the bank picking stocks for you. Okay. That's how you set up the your pension plans. You just call them up and set them up.
What
Okay.
kind do you like usually?
The three that I just gave you, the SEP, the 401k, and the defined benefit plan. And those three are in the chat. If you look at the chat, those are my three favorite. Okay. Any question now, moderators, are there any questions that you guys see in the chat that I did not answer? I want to go, can y'all go back through the chat and see if there's any questions that I did not answer? Or if you have a question and you're in this space, and guys, listen to me. This information is going, this replay, if you want to play it while you're driving instead of finding it on Clubhouse, above my head is the Win in Real Estate Facebook group. We're simulcasting live on Facebook. So for those of you that have not joined, here's what I want you to do. If you enjoyed this conversation, I'm going to ask you guys to click the link above my head, join the Facebook group, and put done in the chat so I know you did it, because that free minutes document, okay, and the veteran wealth formula, I'm going to give you guys a, Anthony, I'm going to do it right now, as a matter of fact. Anthony, can you do me a favor, brother? I want to draw out the template. I want to make a template that I can post on Instagram and Facebook of the veteran, the wealth formula, so people can understand the flow. I'll create that. There's no Facebook link at the top. What's at the top, guys? There's no Facebook link at the top.
Your calculator's still up there.
Oh crap. Ian, can you put my moderators ain't, man, y'all about to get fired, Jack.
You just told them to put the calculator. Can I share? Can I add value while you do that?
I don't want no trouble, Clarissa. Okay, I got
I
my
don't know why
gun.
you think I'm. I don't know why you think I'm a problem. I always add value. So this is like a W-2 employee converting into real estate investing observation. Because I took this challenge in this room to get my first property by January 1st. I started having conversations in my space. I'm an educator, higher ed for 20 years. And I went to HR to have conversations about a couple of things. But one of the things I learned was that I hadn't been paying attention to legal insurance, because in educators, all my colleagues, every time I've ever heard in all those years about legal insurance being used, it's for divorce. And I don't know what that says about us, but that's what people use it for. But what I learned in HR is they will use that. All you have to do is enroll. It's very inexpensive as far as the contribution goes, and they will set up a trust. They will set up land trust, and they will help you with this corporate structure. So for people who are thinking of doing this on the side as a way to diversify and add an income stream, there are resources that maybe we're not even tapping into.
Well, thank you very much for that share. That is really good. And let me add this. Let me read this real quick because we're short on time and I'm racing to get out of here. Okay, because I'm like 15 minutes over my time. Okay, so a couple of things. My life insurance pays off the debt that I have. Very simple. That's how my life insurance structure is structured. So I get life insurance policies not to pay off my my life insurance policies are to pay off my real estate, so my kids can inherit something that prints money. So imagine your kids having a bank. That's exactly what it is. So imagine your real estate being employees to you. So that means that each property or business that I have that's printing money is like an employee. So the property that I have in anywhere is like a person giving me $2,500 a month. Okay. And then when that money comes in, it goes to my pension plan. Sorry about that. I have allergies. And then my pension plan then pays me, and then I fund my pension. Sorry. Okay, so any questions about that? All right, guys. The Facebook group is at the top. Click the link above my head. The minutes document is in there to hire your children. And then also for your meetings that you have, all of that stuff is in there so you guys can look at it. Put a done in the chat once you click the link above my head and you subscribe to the Facebook group. Are there any questions? Because I'm gonna get the last and final thing that I'm gonna do. Ian Jensen and I are gonna go through. He's gonna read the he's gonna go through the read what the holding company is. The definition, and then we're gonna go through I owe you guys going through an example of how this property is going to print money that I have in New Bern, North Carolina, with the $2,200 that I get for income. So basically, what I do is I establish my LLC to build business credit. Okay. When I pass away, my kids will inherit my limited liability company and my trust. My trust will then, my life insurance policy will pay off all of the real estate that I have. So that means that my kids will have free and clear real estate that prints money to them. Okay. And then I'm going to show you guys the example of how the money flows through and how one property will pay my daughter that I bought when she was 3 years old, $2 million. And I'm going to show it to you real time. Okay. All right. Ian, are you ready to read those definitions? And then after that, we're going to open it up for questioning and then close down. Any other questions?
You got to go to the life insurance too, Pillar, right?
Yeah, I already talked about the life insurance portion.
Oh, shit.
The life insurance policy is my life insurance policy. I cannot tell you what policy to do because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm never going to give you advice on which one to pick because life insurance people are unique in nature and it needs to be catered to how many assets that you have. But my life insurance policy is designed to pay off all of my real estate debt, so my kids and my corporate debt, in order for me to have a company that's printing money and real estate that's printing money infinitely. Okay. Because the pension plans, if you have those, for those of you who are working, and this is the reason why I share stuff like this, the pension plans that you have, you're subject to the amount of money that you have accrued. When you die, you're not putting more money in there. So there's a ceiling to it. And then the problem with that situation is that if the market goes down or the company goes out of business, you lose money. So you need to,
Tony,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I literally just had this conversation with my mother yesterday about her pension, because think about it. If you die the day after you retire, like your pension goes away, right? Like you don't really get access to all the value and money that you paid into it. So I mean, everyone has their own level of risk that they're comfortable with, and pensions are very like low, what's the word, mental calories, right? Like you don't have to think about them to like earn some money. But if you die too soon, you don't get all your money back. So like if you have a way
That's a
of
good one.
investing these things into assets, then your family will receive those assets and benefits from those assets much longer after you're gone. Because if your pension just kind of set up so a way that you don't have to eat cat food by the time you're an old man or woman, right? So but this way, if you have more than enough in there and you die too soon, you still have assets that will like live on after you and continue to grow, instead of something you just basically try to budget until you die. But over to you, Tony. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to pass that along.
Now, and then guys, for those of you who are listening to this, I see a couple of people that said that they don't have Facebook. So we'll put our YouTube channel at the top, but I want to go through this scenario. Here, put a 1 in the chat if you guys got a 401k or a Roth IRA. If you got a 401k set up or you got a Roth IRA set up, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see, okay? All right, I see you, Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, I see Northside. If you got a 401k in your company and you're working for somebody, you got a 401k, put a 1 in the chat, okay? 1 it up, 403B. Put a 1 in the chat if you got a 401k or 403B or whatever it is. Okay, here's the question that I have for you. When you die, what happens to that money?
Beneficiary.
Nope. What happens to that 401k money that you've been pouring into? Where does that money go?
The government, probably.
I'm asking a serious question. Who can come on stage right now and answer that question for me? All of that money that you've been paying into your 401k, Dr. Clarissa, you've been talking about the 401. What happens to that money right now? Where does it go?
Does it go back to the company?
It
Yeah, I was going to say, company probably
it
keep.
gen oh, it goes to the beneficiaries listed on the plan. That's not true.
Why don't you? Why don't you know?
Well, I'm telling you
This
what
should
I
scare
believe.
you. This should scare the hell out of you right now. Where does the money go in your 401k if you die
Towards whatever
today?
you owe?
Who does it go to?
Towards whatever you owe or towards the government?
See, nobody knows. Isn't that
I have
scary?
To
it.
the
I have it towards.
beneficiaries.
I have it to
Said
my
being
beneficiaries.
Who's your beneficiary?
Right now, I have it my mom, my partner, and my daughter.
Yeah, we
Okay,
named them.
okay, you name your beneficiaries, but how do you know it goes there? How do you know?
Because that's what I
If you
put in
if
my.
you if anybody is in this
I
room,
don't know.
I'll give
I don't
somebody
know.
I will give somebody $100 if somebody got some 401k money from their parents that can prove it.
you give how much?
Who's got 401 who
How much?
who has gotten 401k? You need to know these questions, okay?
I know my mom got her husband's pension when he passed. Is that the
Okay.
same
Hey,
thing?
doesn't it go to the investor, the bank investor?
Does it? But how do you know though? Like when do you get it? What you name the bit? Okay, when your 401k, like right now, you should be right now. Y'all sound like ants because you don't know for sure where that money is going to. When did they get it? How did they
They
get
get it.
it?
They get it when I pass. So, for instance, because my mom knows, I gave her the information to all of my, the like all of my life insurance policies, and the same for her. I have her information for her life insurance policy. So when she passes, I provide the death certificate, and they and the proof of who I am, and then they give me they give me the money.
Okay, has that ever happened? You're missing the point of what I'm trying to make. What do you think I'm
I
trying
know
to tell you?
you're trying to ask, has that ever happened? And the only example I can give is when my mom and my stepfather, when he passed, she got his pension, and that's what she had to do. She had to show that they were married and all, and she had to go through that whole ordeal.
How long did it take?
Um, it took a couple weeks, so we had to pay out of. Well, he already had his tombstone and all that paid off, so we only had to pay a little bit until um the information was verified. So I think it was like a couple weeks.
Now, y'all see where this is going, right? Y'all see how you see now. What was the pillar that I told you guys to have?
A trust.
Bingo. Bingo. Okay. Bingo. Okay. I don't care what you believe that's going to happen. I don't care what people tell you what's going to happen. Okay. We had all of those people put the ones in the chat. This is the main reason I put that cheese out there for a reason. You're paying into a 401k. You don't even know where the money is going to go or how to get it. Okay. This is the reason why. Now, guess what? Now, if I put these people down, now watch this. Can a 401k money be contested in court? Yes. So if you're my sister and my dad said that all money goes to in my 401k goes to my wife and my daughter, and I'm a knucklehead son, and I said, well, I'm his kid. He didn't give me nothing. Guess what? That money that you putting in there can be contested in court. Look, it's quiet as a church mouse in here. Man, y'all losing with them 401ks. I got
Does it
y'all,
work the
man.
same way with a 403b? Does it work the same way with a 403b?
Look, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, it works with all of them. And any of that money, anything that's not in the trust can be contested. Look it up. Challenge me. Go 401k right now. Can a 401k be contested? I challenge anyone to Google it. Matter of fact, we're on stage right now. Okay,
No, I believe you.
Google it. Google it right now. I want somebody to Google it and read what Google tells you. Can your pension plan be contested? Can your 401k pension be contested in court? Yes or no?
Probably.
No, don't, no, probably. I want the factual answer. Can anybody tell me?
I didn't Google it, but yes.
Okay. Not have a designated beneficiary. The money in your 401k will become part of your estate and will be distributed according to the terms of your will. But a will, see, this is the thing. See, Northside, Diego, your will can be contested in court, brother. Okay? Anything that's not in your trust can be contested in court. Okay? So the reason why I'm telling you guys is I'm telling you guys to wake up. Everybody on stage, unmute your mic and say, wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up,
Wake up.
man. You better wake up.
First,
I'm telling
wake up.
y'all.
That,
Wake it up.
that wasn't
Wake
no
up,
wake.
wake up.
Gotta wake up though. Wake up.
Now,
So
what happens? Who doesn't have kids? Dr. Carissa, do you have children?
You know I don't. That's why you asking me.
Okay. So what happens to that money that you put in there? Who's going to get it?
My mother at this point.
Okay. Now, do you have any cousins, uncles, nephews, brothers, and sisters?
I have all of that except brothers and sisters.
Okay. So guess what? It could be contested in court
I understand that.
by who?
By
by
anybody.
anyone.
Any of them. Any of them.
Now, I'm going to tell
So
y'all,
in the trust, do I put the 403? Do I list that in there then?
I can't answer that question because we short on time.
Oh.
Oh, man. Look, y'all better be driving y'all butt to the bank right now. The reason why I wanted to give you guys these things is because, these conversations at the depth of what we're having them right now are not had on Clubhouse. We like to break things down on an intimate level so you guys understand how important it is for estate planning and why these things are important to have, right? Because if I put beneficiaries in there and I die, you don't be thinking about your 401k. What if one of those beneficiaries die? Or you got your stuff going to your mom and your mom's dead, then what? What happens when your mom dies, Dr. Carissa? What happens if she dies before you die and then she dies immediately after you? Right?
Well, Anthony, I hadn't thought about that, but you're right.
Right? So
You're right, though. I know. You're right. Absolutely.
you guys have to have this stuff. You have to think, man. And we have rooms like these Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So guys, put a one in the chat if you thought this is a really good conversation
Well,
to
no,
have.
I have to say these rooms are the reason I knew which questions to ask when I did go to HR. Like all of the conversation I had was compelled by things that I had heard in here, to be honest.
That's good, guys. So I am whew, man. This was a good room. I'm telling you. This was a really good room, guys. So I really appreciate you guys rocking on the ones and twos with us. We're about to set up a podcast now. My voice is gone, but guess what? I'm glad that you ain't broke, Northside San Diego. Thank you for coming in here, man. This has been a phenomenal room. The SITREP YouTube channel is right at above my head. Myself, Ian, and Bruno, we're on here, and we have a new episode that we just dropped. Guys, do me a favor. If you really enjoy this conversation, I need your help. I'm trying to go viral. I know beyond reason we will go viral. I'm going to ask you guys to hit the link above my head, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and help me get my views up. Okay. I break this stuff down on the YouTube channel so you guys can see me live. If y'all click on the link, you can see me live right now. Okay. So I want you guys to subscribe and put a done in the chat so I know that you guys did it. Okay. Now, are there any Prince, man? Thank you for pulling up, bro. I want to specifically say thank you for coming in here, man, because I know you have a big following on Clubhouse. Stack Pack, thank you. Ian, Hannah, Dr. Clarissa. Follow all of the moderators. Catherine, thank you for hanging out. Mark, thank you for all of the questions. Ursula, Michelle, Steve, Mac, thank you. Jacob, thank you for coming up. I just want to say thank you for all of you guys that got on stage today. This was a phenomenal room. Make sure if you have a red ticket by your name, we do these rooms every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Above my head, you will see Win in Real Estate. If you click on the little W, the little box up there, you can join this space so you get the notification of when we have these rooms. I have a question for you guys. I'm going to teach what you guys asked me to teach next. So right now, what I'd like for you guys to do is in the chat, what do you guys want me to break down even further? Do you want me to teach how to hire kids? Do you want me to teach uh, corporate structure examples? Do you want me to teach? What do you guys want me to teach next? Okay, put it in the chat. I want to get feedback from you of what you guys want me to teach next. And while we're doing that, are there any questions? I know I was going to show you guys an example with the compound interest calculator, but I'm out of time. I'm not going to have a chance to do it today, but I will do it on Tuesday. I promise. Okay. What do you guys want me to teach next? Put it in the chat right now. And then any closing remarks from any of the moderators right now? Anybody have any questions or any closing remarks? Andrea, I'm sorry. I'm on a different platform. I'm not on my phone. I apologize for not being able to put some respect on your name, Andrea. I will next time. My apologies, my professional apologies for that. Thank you for coming in here as well. Okay. Go to the YouTube channel above my head and subscribe. Any questions before we shut down? Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anthony. I've been sharing it while the class been going on.
Great
I've been sharing
room
it with
today,
friends and
you
family
guys.
on my social
Amazing
media pages. Thank
content.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashley. You want to take us out, please?
Hey y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping into the room today. We greatly appreciate you being in the Win in Real Estate Club. Make sure if you haven't already, tap in with Anthony Glenn the second and connect with him right here on Clubhouse, and then connect with his social media platforms as well, along with the team. Follow them too, and hit the link at the top of the screen and become a subscriber to the SITREP YouTube channel. That's where you get full episodes of so much information, like the information provided in today's session. Last but not least, go to Facebook and click Win in Real Estate and request to join the group. We would love to have you in this growing community. Thank you so much for being here, where we discussed money, 5 must-have generational wealth tools. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week. We're here every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday in the Win in Real Estate Club, and on Wednesdays in the Mortgage Syndicate. Have the most amazing rest of your day and long holiday weekend on purpose.
Oh, Dr. Ashley, when's your next real estate room?
Friday, tomorrow, my room. It's
Hey.
a newbie real estate room. It's in the Real Estate Talk Club, and it is now offered on the first and third Fridays at noon Eastern. So tap into the Real Estate Talk Club or follow me so you're notified when I begin that room tomorrow. And most times you can catch the Winning Real Estate team there too. They are big supporters of that space. It is for those of us who are new in real estate. For those of you who don't know, I'm finishing up my real estate license. I'm currently in real estate school, finishing up my license, and that space is designed for us newbies to learn and grow together and talk about what's next. And we have experts that tap in and share their advice, their insight, their expertise, their experiences, and oftentimes they learn a thing or two as well. So, all are welcome. Tap into that space. And then, last but not least, I'm so excited to share that yesterday I was a featured speaker for the BMW annual conference. It was an incredible experience. Make sure you tap on my social media platforms so you can check out the pictures. And if you would like to grab that presentation, I'll put the link in the chat. A digital download is available for
Ashley, I
you
heard
to
you had that
grab.
blue on. I
Thank
heard you had that
you.
blue on like me.
You saw the
Blue.
pictures?
Yeah, I like that blue.
Man, y'all, I had
Oh,
the blue first, man. Y'all losing over
you
there,
did
man.
not.
That's a lie, Ashley. Stop playing.
Oh,
That
You
blue
did
Anthony,
not.
the blue suit is on
You
my
he's
profile
hating.
picture. What are you talking
look at
about?
my profile
He's
Oh
picture.
hating.
my
My
God,
profile
Ian.
picture
Who
is
had the blue on
different.
first, Ian?
I
Ian,
taught you how to
look like
moderate, and I
blue
had
though.
my picture
You
first.
see how they
This
jocking
is
my
not.
fresh?
I'm
You
not new to this. I'm
know
new to
who
this.
had the blue first? King
Listen.
Stat. All right,
Bye,
blue.
I
y'all.
think I saw Ashley with the blue on
Dr.
first.
Thank
Carissa,
you,
do you see? Hold
Soror.
on just a second. Do you
Oh,
see my
I was
profile picture?
first.
Do you see my
Do you
profile
I
see my
picture?
profile picture? You
I
Okay.
see
just
my
wanted to
picture.
I just wanted to note how huge that stage was for BMW you were on, Ashley. That was a
Oh,
huge
thank
stage
you.
on Instagram
Thank
with
you. I
your
really,
blue
really
on, with your blue on.
with my blue on, my power blue, my
Yep.
power
Her
color
power
blue.
blue.
Let me
I'm just saying.
let me tell y'all what that was. That was actually a Barbie stage. It just looks big because Dr. Ashley is so short. Ooh. Hey.
Don't do me. Don't do me. Okay, you always want to talk about someone.
Piggly Wiggly stay.
Don't do me.
Hey
She
guys,
didn't make
listen. Real quick
cry,
though.
y'all.
Ashley, she
Real
just
quick, we got
jealous.
an event. We got an event in San Diego, guys. The free veteran wealth formula. If you guys are realtors or loan officers and you're trying to win in real estate with us with veterans or your military spouse or invest with vets, come on out here so you guys can meet us. Rock the mic, okay? Because I'm gonna be rolling like a honey bun. That's my new saying, y'all. Rolling like a honey bun. I like it. We're gonna be out there with Grant and Elena Cardone doing the 10x Vets wealth formula on the 14th of October. Dr. Ashley and all of us will be there. Pull up. If you're a realtor, loan officer, mortgage professional, veteran, military spouse, or you want to partner with us with veterans, you do not have to be a vet. There'll be a lot of veterans with their VA loan that want to invest with civilians just like you. That event is October. Get the VIP ticket because it might be a special guest. But we got to go, y'all, because I got a meeting I'm about to be late for. Click that link. If 10xvets.org is the website. And we out, Jack.
Bye, y'all.
I'll leave that link up here for a couple of minutes.